live. And I think we are live. We're going to record this one too. Boom. Recording. All right. Here we go, guys. What's happening? Welcome to the new and improved Counterculture Podcast Studio. So, we're in it. We're going to try something new going forward here. I'm going to be challenging myself to doing a live stream or an upload every single day for the next 30 days. Actually, not the next 30 days because we have to give ourselves time. We're getting married this weekend. We get married on Saturday. Who would have ever thought that we're getting married? You know, for the longest time, I really genuinely didn't believe that I would get married, and we're doing it on Saturday. So, all right, tell me if the audio went out. What's up, KDL? It's been a minute. So we're going to try something new. After this weekend, I'm going to try to go as live as many times as possible this week and also record videos and post them as many times as possible for this week. But for today, however, for now, we're just going to post as much as possible, go live as much as possible, and then upload 30 days straight, whether that be live stream, an actual video, or a combination of both. You know, I'd hate to make excuses. We got really busy. I kind of lost vision of like what I wanted to do, where I wanted to take this, and now we've come back. We've recognized what the vision is. We recognize why we started in the first place, and we are going to go in for it. And I'll be completely honest with you guys. Going into this right now, I've been kind of nervous about actually going live, uploading, because I had some discouraging stuff happen, right, when it came to this. Some judgment about the content that I was making, and that's okay. We're going to stay true. I don't give a fuck. So one day a week at least is going to be current events like this. So today we're going to talk about Andrew Wilson, Candace Owens, what's going on with that. If you had not watched that debate, if you haven't watched it in any capacity, holy moly, did you miss a freaking dog walk. I'll tell you guys what my opinion was on that in this stream. Then we're going to do videos, we're going to do live streams like watching action sports. Been into action sports my entire life. I think that would be something fun to do. I want to show you guys why mountain biking is the best thing ever. Okay? I want to share my passion for that. All right. And here we go. Judgment on opinions. That's right. What a world we live in. It's crazy. But this is what I'm interested in, man. I'm interested in conspiracies. That's going to be another show per week. Conspiracies, politics. I try not to dive too far into politics anymore, but I am still interested in it. Religion, action sports, music. We're going to try to do a show about a bunch of stuff, and I'm still going to do pre-recorded podcasts as well. But right now, this is really what I want to focus on is just uploading and being consistent, getting a groove back, getting a rhythm. Today, we're going to go over Andrew Wilson. So if you haven't watched the Candace Owens Andrew Wilson debate yet, you need to go back and you need to watch it because this was an absolute dog walk, Candace Owens of Andrew Wilson. What I think is super interesting that's happening in the world of YouTube right now is we have this group of pseudo-intellectual alpha male characters. And it's the reason why I believe it's so interesting is because a lot of these guys, you can kind of sniff the bullshit, right? And Andrew Wilson is one of these guys that I was actually kind of a fan of at first for a while because I did like his argument style. And to be honest with you, he's super entertaining. When he talks to OnlyFans girls and, you know, people like that, he's entertaining with the way that he talks. But if I'm to examine it from like a Christian lens, because he says that he's a, what's it called? Like an Orthodox, right? And that he has Christian values and he likes to argue from that standpoint. If I'm to actually examine him and be real about where I stand, I don't think he's a good representation of Christianity, you know? And so He says he's a Christian ethicist. That's the word that I was looking for. So I found him entertaining for a while, and then I started to actually think about what he was doing. And now I'm kind of like, I don't really want to listen to his type of stuff because there's a lot of insulting. It's a lot of, pejoratives and semantics. And so what he is really good at is not actually ever stating an argument or making an argument for basically anything. He's very good at distracting and deflecting and trying to make you analyze your argument and find a way to make you trip over it. That's what the crux of like what Andrew Wilson does. Now, I'm not saying that he's not smart, but what I will say is that a lot of these guys, right, they're not normal people. Like, I would like to think that if you met me in person, you would think I'm a pretty normal person. These guys are chronically online. They live on the internet and they speak as such, right? They talk like that. They act like that. And that's what I think is the most funny thing about these debates, right? Is you took Andrew Wilson, somebody who's chronically online, that lives this way, that argues online for a living, and you brought him in person with a real person, a real person who isn't just going to let him get away with the bullshit and the crappy arguments. And the outcome was insane. And so now he's on this, he's on this basically coping tour, trying to figure out how to cope with this loss. And this something really interesting is that since the debate happened and he clearly lost, like it was overwhelming, people voted. He's come out and said that he has checked every AI calculator, like debate AI calculators. Who the fuck is looking at an AI debate? Like, that is something that a normal person does not say. It's something that a normal person, like, he would never accept that standard from somebody else. He's come out and he's done a lot of cope. He said, like, now he's asking for a rematch. Winners don't ask for rematches. They just win, right? He paid her $300,000. So I digress. If you haven't seen it, you need to go back and look at it. KDL, you think they maintain an internet persona? I don't think that they maintain. Actually, I do think that. What I think. Now, this is where I was trying to get to. I do think that he maintains that persona because the vast majority of these guys are just nerds, right? And they surround themselves around. And what I mean by surround themselves with is that they have an audience of just a bunch of other nerds that think the way that they do. These guys want to slam dunk on chicks. They want to call meatheads stupid. It's like the nerds finally found their place in their community within the internet. And then, there's a video of him actually talking about how, like, when you go to a conservative event, it's like a party. Well, yeah, it's a party of a bunch of nerds. He's like, I would like to believe that I'm a guy that you can grab a beer with or whatever. I don't think that anybody is looking at this guy being like, I want to get a beer with him. Now, I don't drink at all. To be honest, I don't drink. But if I did, I probably wouldn't be reaching for a beer with Andrew Wilson. So I want to get into this video and kind of talk about what the issues are with the video and the proofs that he is providing. And that's where we're going to take it. Create and foster a support group. Exactly right. Yeah. So like you will find nowadays we live in a time where you can just find your people, right? It doesn't even matter if you have friends in real life. You can just find your people on the internet. But the craziest thing is that, especially the conservative party, they talk so much about, and I'll be super clear about this from the jump before I start talking about politics more often online and, these types of things. I am very centrist. And the more I used to identify as liberal way back, I then went conservative after COVID, during COVID through, to the end of it. But really, I think that I've always been more of a classical liberal is where I kind of stand. And thinking about this, Teddy, no. He's chewing up the Quick Trip stuffy cow. That's not good. Stop it. Where was I? I was talking about being a centrist. The more that I think about this, right, the more extreme you are on these viewpoints, I feel like the less validity you have, right? And there's this narrative that they're trying to create, which is everything is right versus left right now. I think it's super low IQ actually to say anything is right versus left right now. Very low IQ to be talking like that, and to be over occupied in your head with politics in general, I think is very low IQ because, and I'll just go ahead and say it, I don't even believe that politics are real for the most part, right? And where's my positive evidences for that? I'll get into it in other videos, but I digress. Again, it's always these like conservative guys that talk about sheeple and groupthink, and they're always blaming it on the libs. And it's like, to be honest with you, you see it more and more in the conservative party now than you do any other party. It's fucking insane, right? And these are the alpha male type wannabes, right? Wannabes. And it's always these nerds. You know that saying, like they say, like tough guys don't have to act like tough guys. Well, these guys just feel like they always have to be tough guys. And it's just cringe, right? All right, so here we go. We're going to actually hop into the video now. If anybody, KDL, people look at me like I'm crazy when I say you are wasting your time voting. Okay, this is the last hot take that I'll have. I voted for Donald Trump this past election. It was the first time that I had ever voted. I think that I've been old enough now for 3 elections. I feel like a fucking idiot. And even that day, I was like, why did you do that? Why did you even do it? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So, Paulina Braden, let's go. DJ Paulie B. Hope you guys like the set. All right, here we go. Scene 2. Let's see if it works. Whoa, that's not what I wanted you guys to see. All right. Boom, chicka boom. Here we go. We're going to watch this together.
These are important.
Lost their mind over it.
This is audio of Charlie Kirk. Give it a listen.
Lost their mind over it. You shouldn't be surprised that Trump was nearly indicted twice. Actually indicted 4 times. 700 years in prison. They're going to do everything they possibly can to try to murder this movement because they can't beat us. So they're going to try to take... And no, we're very aware of that. I'm aware of it. We have to have full-time security. This is not a joke. This is who these people are.
That's a reference to the left, by the way. That's a reference to left-wingers.
So the reason why this clip right here is relevant to this entire argument and what he's about to show is because Andrew Wilson believes that the left is actually trying to kill the conservative party. He believes the left, okay? Andrew Wilson believes that this is truly left versus right. The entire world is left versus right. So he's showing that Charlie Kirk was worried about being killed by the left because if you guys have paid attention at all, Charlie Kirk, before he passed, sadly, tragically, people were saying that there was text messages that he was saying that he was worried they were going to kill them. Who is they, right? Who is they? I think that you're not supposed to say KILL on live stream due to TOS or something like that, but we're sending it. Damn, we're talking about Charlie. We're just talking about Charlie to prove a point about how stupid Andrew Wilson is. Because to be honest with you, I'm not overly concerned with the Charlie case. It's not like a big, it's not a big mind occupier for me. So he's trying to demonstrate that Charlie was actually worried about libs and not the JQs, those people. So here we go.
That's who these people are, says Charlie. That's who they are. They want to take him out, says Charlie.
There's like the purple-haired jihadist on a college campus that wants to murder me and my family. Those people don't bother me. We get almost every day. That's part of the game of the space that I'm in.
Listen again.
There's like the purple-haired jihadist on a college campus that wants to murder me and my family. Those people don't bother me. We get almost every day. That's part of the game of the space that I'm in.
Charlie Kirk again saying that he's concerned about leftists.
Why this is actually irrelevant about Charlie Kirk, okay, saying that he's afraid that the left is going to kill him. The debate that he and Candace Owens were having was that she believes that there is that Tyler Robinson is not the sole actor in the of Charlie, right? So he's trying to demonstrate that he was afraid of the left to somehow draw a conclusion that that was the left. But if you watch the debate at all, he had such a problem with Candace Owens inferring, as he put it, based on the evidences that she had or the thoughts that she had. By the way, this is the quick trip, Kyle, that I was talking about that that Teddy was chewing on before. Let's read some of this chat before we get further into the video. Set looks sick. Thanks, DJ Pauly B. A centrist purple background, intentional. Purple, funny enough, has been my favorite color forever. Damn, we're talking about Charlie. It don't matter. What do you think about the it's real conspiracy? Which one? Which it's real. You should watch the Dave Smith. I did. Did you watch Dave Smith and Candace talk? That was crazy. That was crazy. Dave Smith had Candace on a few days after. Here we go.
Charlie, how often do these types of attacks happen against conservatives?
Well, far too often, and this one was one of the more brutal ones we've seen recently. And the narrative in the media in the last couple of weeks, but before the facts came out with the Smollett case, is he's a victim and we cannot question it. This is real victimhood. I mean, this is a student that was in the public square because he was tabling and recruiting for conservative values for our Turning Point USA chapter at UC Berkeley, which ironically was the original birthplace of the free speech movement, 30 or 40 years ago. But unfortunately, college campuses have not become safe places for conservatives.
College campuses are not safe places for conservatives. Why? Because, well, leftists doing bad things. That's why. By the way, that show was...
That's so low IQ. Leftists, a bunch of them are just fucking gay dudes who aren't actually violent. Let's be real. And a bunch of the women too are just a bunch of emotionally unstable women that might slap you in the face. But for the most part, it's just a bunch of normal gay dudes and a bunch of weird chicks. And honestly, what the fuck are they going to do? About nothing is going to happen from that. Let's just keep it a buck.
Titled, Why Have Leftists Become So Violent by Charlie Kirk. Interestingly enough, before we do the reveal on the message, so that you understand, your boy Baron Coleman also isn't very based, and he runs the exact same script. And I'm going to prove it to you right now. What I'm going to play for you is audio of Coleman. Well, actually, I'll just show it to you. How's that?
I mean, listening to this guy, does anybody think he's a normal person? I mean, just listening to him, right? It's actually insane. It's insane.
One thing that was, it was such a hard, tough, straight ticket voting.
Yeah.
I think that's changed. I don't think you have as much straight ticket voting as you had this time.
Yeah. Historically, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably not. Again, I think there was so much frustration with the way Trump's been treated among Republicans and glee among Democrats, frankly. So much frustration with the way Kavanaugh was treated in particular. They went out there and said no Democrat benefits. I mean, your average Republican voter went out there and said, I'm not voting for a Democrat at any level for anything. I mean, I took that attitude in there, Steve, frankly. I'm partisan. People know that. But in the past, I've historically split my ticket up a little bit.
I've historically split my ticket up a little bit.
See somebody on the other side that's a little better, I think.
Yeah. If he sees somebody on the other side, he's going to vote for him.
What are you supposed to do? I just question to the people. I won't get copyrighted because I'm not monetized right now, and it's protected under fair use. But question to the people, right? What are you supposed to do if you truly believe that voting actually matters? If you really do believe in how the U.S. government is supposed to be run, and vote, your vote matters, politics is real, there's not people pulling the strings behind the scenes, what else are you supposed to do? You're supposed to just side with your party because conservative? I mean, low. It's about as low IQ as it fucking gets, dude.
If he thinks that they're better just a little bit, right?
Talk about people who are on our side, meaning the America First side. All right, if you're on the America First side, are you on the right-hand side or the left-hand side of that? Because believe it or not,
Yeah, I don't know if the strikes are gone and you just get demonetized, but we're trying to build a billion-dollar brand, energy drinks, from going live. I'm just kidding. I'm not super concerned with getting monetized right now, but it'd be nice. Be cool. Teddy is about to unplug my camera. Okay.
or not, there are some left-wingers out there who are on the American First side.
There's some left-wingers out there, boys, who are on the America First side. You heard it from Coleman.
Talk about people who are on our side, meaning the America First side. All right, if you're on the America First side, are you on the right-hand side or the left-hand side of that? Because believe it or not, there are some left-wingers out there who are on the American First side.
Uh-huh. Like Anna Kasparian and others, right? These fucking people. Oh, these fucking people are so stupid.
This argument is just like so flawed and so dumb to begin with, right? Because everybody has their opinion of what that even means, America First. You know, it's like everyone has their opinion on that. And so to just sit there and like laugh like condescendingly like this is just like, it's so off-putting. It doesn't even like, I don't know. It's part of the reason why I've honestly just like not enjoyed his content at all.
All of them. All working in unison. For some kind of emergent third party. It's cool, man. The left is welcome here, man. The left is what? No, the left isn't welcome here. And the left has never been welcome here. Ever. Now, I want to show you one more thing here. I'm going to show you a message that many of you have never seen. I'm not sure if anybody has seen this message. This particular message was from...
Oh my gosh, get on with it. Show the message.
Not the major message I'm going to show you, but this one was from the spring of 2025. This is between Charlie Kirk and a friend of his.
Groupthink is correct.
This was forwarded to Charlie. Right-wing loser Charlie Kirk is going to be at ISU tomorrow, and I'm going to kill him. Legal intent to murder. Arrest me. Says to his friend, I'm sorry the Illinois trip is in jeopardy after all of this type of crap. His friend says, oh my God, such lunatics. No worries, stay safe. Kirk says the left is reaching a dangerous point. The left is reaching a dangerous point. Now, that's from the spring of 2025. I already showed you evidence over and over again that Charlie Kirk was worried, and he publicly mentioned this many times, how worried he was about leftists killing him. That was his primary concern. He never publicly once stated that he thought or anybody else was going to hurt him, anything like never. He never publicly stated that once, but he often publicly stated that it was the case that he thought that leftists were going to kill him.
Let's just say that that is the case. Okay. I'm not super refreshed right now on, you know, whether or not Charlie Kirk thought that It's Real would off him or not. Okay. I'm not super pivy on whether or not he said that or didn't say that. So I'm not going to comment on that. It's been a while since I paid attention to this, except for the Candace Owens debate. However, what I will say is, how does that mean that the left is who did it? It's an inference. You're just inferring that this could be true the same way that he was upset that Candace Owens inferred that Tyler Robinson, remember, The debate wasn't whether or not the left or a foreign entity did the thing. It was, did Tyler Robinson act alone, or was he a patsy? Whatever the actual debate prompt was. It wasn't who did he think did it, and did they? So how does stating that Charlie Kirk was scared of the left prove anything in your position? It doesn't. Low IQ. Room temperature IQ.
And that's from 2025. Now, here's the main message that you guys wanted to see.
Oh, here we go.
The con artists have been trying to sell you a bill of goods. These people who are actually just progressives. And that particular bill of...
He has to set it up and make sure that you know that the people that he disagrees with are leftists and he doesn't agree with them. And that means they're bad, which means that you shouldn't listen to them. You should listen to me. Everyone has already moved on to Lindsay What's-Her-Face. Yeah, that's another one, dude. That's another one.
Of goods that they're trying to sell you is that Charlie Kirk had tweeted, or not tweeted out, but had sent a message, and that message was that he had no choice but to leave the cause over platforming concerns which were going on between him and some donors. That was the big concern. So these people ran with that and said, you see, Charlie Kirk.
They run with that in the first place because it's high stakes. You're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars. He's acting like there's no probable cause or reason that somebody might want to do something aggressive or bad to Charlie. I've gotten into fights for way less than $100 million. I mean, I wish somebody would pay me to get into a ring or something for $100 million. But this is just stupid. Acting as if these types of things have not happened in the past or don't actively happen right now. Either you are ignorant towards how crime has worked in the past. Trying to think of what kind of crime I'm talking about. Groups, like certain groups of people. Okay? Either you're ignorant towards that, you're ignorant towards how gangs move, you're ignorant towards people with a lot of money or have high stakes, things on the line. Either you're ignorant towards that could be a probable reason for something to happen to somebody, something bad, or you're just lying. My thoughts are that he just likes to argue for the fuck of it, for the sake of arguing. It was pretty obvious that he didn't know shit about the case, which is a very weird thing in the first place, to go ahead and argue about something that you don't even... Hamstring cramp. Live hamstring cramp. Let's move. It's a weird thing to go ahead and argue and pay somebody $300,000 for a conversation in the first place, especially when you don't even fucking know a thing about it. Let's move on.
Did it. See, he was going to leave the pro cause. And so it was, and then it became France, and then it became TPUSA as part of this conspiracy. And that was literally their only lead in, was that message, because they didn't have full context. That's why when I went and invested.
He's lying. He's lying. It's not the only lead in. He's never seen Candace Owens' show, obviously. Part of the reason why I stopped watching Candace Owens' show in the first place was because it was just becoming too much for me. I thought that she was reaching. I'll be totally real with you guys. I thought she was reaching a lot. I thought that she was, starting to go way off base. Because even for someone like me, who was an Alex Jones fan forever, who likes people like Sam Tripoli, tinfoil hat. You know, I've been reading and listening to and about this stuff for over a decade, probably almost a decade and a half. She even became too much for me. And it wasn't so much that she was too much for me. It was almost like it was disturbing to listen to a lot of it, right? Like it was just a lot of information. And the thing is what Candace is doing right now is like investigate. You can look at it as basically investigative journalism. Yes, she's making inferences, but that's basically how fucking crime is solved in the first place. Okay? I can speak as, you know, as somebody who's been, like, I'm not a criminal, but when I was a child, I committed crimes. And we weren't caught on a bunch of cameras. There wasn't a bunch of proof, but there was inferences, right? They were able to draw conclusions based off of like, this happened at this time. These people were there. Boom, 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 boom. Right? You solve cases that way, dude. That's just how investigations go. It's how investigations go. All right? I was questioned by a detective when I was like 15 years old. You know, based off of something that they thought maybe, because maybe you would be a part of this. Turns out I was a part of it.
Investigated, I got full context. Now, that was on the 8th. This is on the 9th. And here's what it says.
Which also
says, what's the lay of the...
Just as like, let's just talk as normal people real quick. Can we have a heart to heart and just talk about this real fast? He doesn't have anything to do supposedly with TPUSA. Okay, he supposedly has nothing to do with them. Like, no relationships. He's been hired by them once. Brother, I have hired people to help me out with things that were like good friends of mine, right? That were good friends of mine, and I don't fucking share everything with them. I won't share text messages about like business dealings with them. Like maybe I hired them to help me for like a season with when I was, you know, fitness coaching. I used to coach, you know, varsity level going into college lacrosse chicks, you know, to help them get sponsorships. And if anyone would have ever asked if I could share information from like a parent to them, no, motherfucker, it's my business, not yours. Why is this guy getting text messages from, of all people, right? It's not even like he has that much clout compared to Candace Owens. Like, he's not as famous or anywhere close. I understand he's been on the Rogan podcast twice, but there's definitely way bigger people that they could have shared this information with. But for some reason, it's Andrew fucking Wilson, dude. What?
The land. This is Kirk. His security team says...
I'll back it up.
This is Kirk. Says, what's the lay of the land? This is Kirk. His security team says, yes, law enforcement's been fully supportive and has agreed to the security plan and posture. Tomorrow's event will be covered by both my team and Campus PD. If additional support is required, patrol units will be available. You see this message here? This is in response to Kirk saying, thank you. The threats aren't available. You see this message here? An imposter. Tomorrow's event will be covered by both my team and Campus PD. If additional support is required, patrol units will be available.
Okay. Weird. Anybody else catch that? If additional services is required, it will be available. Anybody else find that a little bit weird? Because one thing that Candace Owens has said on one of her podcasts recently was that they always had ambulances on site. Makes me feel a little weird that there wasn't.
You see this message here? This is in response to Kirk saying, thank you. The threats are higher than ever. His security team says, I have 11 on site. Okay, great, says Kirk. Delicately remind them that they are there for one person's security only. I'm somewhat worried about the left trying to kill me. I'm somewhat worried about the left trying to kill me.
All right. Cool. So basically the rest of the video is just him trying to reaffirm you that he has knowledge that other people don't. And that somehow points to the left, Tyler Robinson, is the sole and lone actor. By zero means does this mean that Tyler acted alone. And to pretend as if that means that you are inferring the same way that Candace Owens inferred that possibly Tyler Robinson, whatever the fuck his name is, who cares, did not act alone. It's the same thing. And this is all super weird as well because someone is fucking lying. I don't really care who is lying. I just care about these types of people being famous. I don't know why I care so much, but I don't fucking like it. I don't like it, right? The Charlie Kirk thing, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. Let me tell you something. This is what I truly think about this. Andrew Wilson is doing the equivalent of trust the science. I actually meant to make that basically the intro to this video is that Andrew Wilson is basically doing the equivalent of trust the science when it comes to this case, okay? Because basically what he's saying is that government says bad. Government says Tyler bad. So Tyler bad. Why? The evidence is, and if you guys have taken any time to actually watch the evidence, I had to take my headphones off for this because it's just getting way too serious. If you guys have taken a look at the actual evidence from the case, there's really no concrete evidence yet, okay? He's doing trust the science here, right? Like the COVID thing. The vaccine is good. We're going to mandate the vaccine. You guys need to get vaccinated. Wouldn't it be bad if you killed your grandma? Wouldn't it be, you should feel like shit because if you're sick around your grandma or someone else, you're going to kill that person because they're going to get sick and they're going to die. Trust us. We know better than you do. It's the same exact argument here. It's the same thing. Government says Tyler bad. Andrew is the arbiter of that. Andrew believed government bad. So government bad. Don't you think that you're a bad person because you believe that it might not be the official narrative? That the official narrative that the government has provided is not, that you're saying that it might not be the actual thing that happened? This is fucking trust the science all over again. And this is where you start to really, like, if you are of the mind that, like, government is not for you, right? Like the government is not for you. This is the type of fucking magic tricks that they do that you're like, what the fuck? Patrol units being available would assume that's hard to guarantee. Truth. What is old is new. We used to speak out against things, but since our side won, it's cool if we do those things now. Dude, such a good fucking point, dude. This is the exact thing. This is exactly what conservatives used to talk about when they would talk about groupthink and the liberals, right? Is trust the science was fucking stupid, because it was somebody else. But when it's your party, it's totally acceptable for whatever reason, right? And this is actually part of the reason that I have fallen away from the conservative party. Because the conservative party they're fucking liberals, dude. It's a bunch of white beta male pussies. Not that I'm an alpha male, but it's a bunch of white beta male pussies, never done nothing pussies, right? You guys remember the thing, I've mentioned this on this podcast multiple times, but the thing that really made me cringe the most during COVID was when the BLM riots started. And people in the suburbs, like a bunch of white men who had never faced adversity in their life, probably never been in a fight, were all like, I'd like to see them come out here. They're going to have a fucking problem if they come here. It's like, motherfucker, you would never. Shut the fuck up. You're calling the police, which is fine, by the way. It's also totally fine. But it blows my mind that we have people like this, right? They're doing trust the science all over again. It's okay because it's the conservatives this time. He's trying to say that just because Charlie felt in danger, Tyler did it, which doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And if you watch the debate, the entire time, he's screaming about positive evidence. What's your positive evidence? What's your positive evidence? And the funniest thing is that no one has said that Tyler is for sure a patsy or for sure not the person who did it. The whole argument is that it needs to be investigated more because things are weird and don't add up, right? And it almost blows my mind that somebody who's okay, look, here's one problem that I've been having with like the alpha male universe, right, on online, the conservatives, right? There's something to be said about logic, right? And what's happening right now is that the right is leaning on these pseudo-intellectuals. They're leaning on people that are what they deem to be smart, who use big words, who can logic their way through almost any problem. However, you guys, in life, okay, this is something that I've kind of come to a little bit more recently because I used to be very black and white, very like logical, you know, everything comes down to logic. But when I actually look at the broad scope of life and how things have actually worked out, and I'm sure that you guys have a similar experience to this, logic is super helpful. It's super useful. And knowing the laws of logic and how to actually have like a logical debate and argument is also very useful. However, there is so much gray in this world. There's so much gray area. And to act as if you can do everything and figure everything out through deductive reasoning, deductive argument styles is fucking retarded. You act as if like you will ask the fucking 10 lines of questioning and that there's no way that anything got through those cracks, right? This is how they act. And so they're leaning on pseudo-intellectuals, but at a certain point, what happens is like, it's not very intellectual at all, actually, because they're not exploring thoughts, right? And this is something that the philosophers of old used to do is they explored thoughts in the vast the space that was around us and spiritual questions. And they did talk about like intuition and things of that nature and exploring it, right? And so leaning on these people because it just makes them seem like they're smart and that it all makes sense. And again, trust the science because Andrew Wilson knows how to take you through deductive reasoning. And the most logical conclusion is this. It's just fucking nonsense. I'm sick of it. Doing the trust known liars. Truth. That's the other thing, right? Is we're supposed to trust. Dude, man, I won't get too much into this, but if you spent any time in a courtroom, all right, I hate to say this. I spent a lot of time in courtrooms. A lot. You know these motherfuckers are corrupt. You just know they are, dude. I was 14. They tried to slap me with a felony for putting shit on someone's door. What? Come on, dude. I mean, it's unreal. Charlie had a feeling, so therefore it's got to be how it happened, right? Exactly, man. Exactly. We put too much into the soy boy initiative. Quick, switch back to toxic masculinity. Yes. Discernment is useful too. Absolutely. Wilson totally got the call. Yes, he did. Them BB bucks were just too tempting. I wonder if they're useful for anything. Like, can you buy shit at the grocery store? Because some people might actually just flip sides in order to afford milk at this point. Yeah, Paulina, like actual shit. Yeah, like we actually put shit on someone's door. We were, and so, just to like get into a little bit of my criminal history, we were having a gang war, a race war, the Albanians and us, okay, when I was younger. And we were basically just pranking each other, but it got a little too out of hand, and somebody shit on a paper plate and rubbed it on the door. And they wanted to give us a hate crime felony for that. Turns out I would become longtime friends with one of the Albanians. I'm half Mexican, by the way, so I can't be racist. Don't take anything that I just said as racism, because it's not. I have to let Teddy go upstairs. He's crying. And we're back. So, lots of coping, lots of pseudo-intellectual behavior here, which is something that I do have a problem with. I just can't believe that anybody actually takes that guy seriously, especially after, like, look, I really don't want to do ad hominems, and I don't want to be like shitting on him in that way, but I'm just going to be honest with you. Like, he's one of those dudes, like, he admits that he's not very likable. And it's just crazy to me because he admits he's not very likable, yet TPUSA is going to provide him with the text messages and the proof or whatever he needs, but he's not very likable, right? And, there's something to say about, like, picking the person that can do the job, but you would think that to do the job, you'd have to be trained on the job. You'd have to like do a little bit more research on the job. And it's interesting to hear him cope about like the fact that he didn't know any of the charges and trying to draw a distinction between like murder and aggravated murder. And again, if you spent any time in courtrooms, that type of stuff abso-fucking-lutely does matter. And knowing the difference does matter. It's the difference between like a fucking 14-year-old kid getting a felony and a misdemeanor and his entire life being ruined, and the difference between somebody being put in the fucking death chair or going to jail. Like, something should probably happen to that Tyler Robinson guy. But if he didn't act alone, and if it wasn't premeditated or whatever it was, I don't know, maybe if he helped murder the guy, like, maybe put them all up for the death sentence. I'm not a huge fan of the death sentence. I'm a Christian. I believe people's hearts can change. I'm not an eye for an eye guy anymore. But everybody's got to get fucked, right? That sounded bad. That part was so funny. What part? The shit part? There's some other clips that I actually kind of wanted to go through and investigate here, because I think that she just did a masterclass on how to take someone like this down. That's the cool thing. And, I'm going to be totally real about this too. Okay. Call me racist if you want. I think it's even better that she's a black woman. I think it's even better that she's a black woman that took him down. I think it's fucking awesome. I do. Listening to Ian Carroll and him saying that and like kind of reminding me like, oh yeah, she is a black chick. That makes it better. That does make it better. Because I am not of the mindset that racism doesn't exist. I think it is very much so alive. And we've had, I won't get too far into that. The part about him asking what the specific charges were, and she starts listing them, and he goes, I don't care about the specifics, right? You know what's crazy about that moment in time, too, that he asked her to name them, is that I don't know that anyone, let's find the clip. I don't know that anybody thought that she was stalling when it came to naming the charges. I don't think anyone watching that thought that she was stalling. But But he said, it seems like you're stalling. No, I think that you just know you're about to get your fucking ass handed to you. And you want to say something like that to get a clip or to make it seem as though she's stalling. Because he also did a live stream later on. I saw a clip where he said they cut out the 2 minutes where she was stalling. Motherfucker, she wasn't stalling. She was actually trying to educate you. It's weird, right? A pseudo-intellectual, like this guy who is so smart, can't even be honest, right? Like, I would have had so much more respect for him, and I think that the world would have. Fuck, dude, I keep putting my water bottle there. I can't even see the chat when I do that. I think the world would have had so much more respect for him if he would have just fucking owned up and been like, wow, I didn't know that. It's actually pretty good. That's crazy that you know that. People that I argue with in real life, right? I don't argue with people, but if we're like debating something, you know, or whatever, if I don't know something, it's super simple to just be like, I didn't know that. Or can you elaborate? Can you tell me more? And it wouldn't have meant either that he lost the debate or that he was on his way to losing the debate, which is the other craziest part of that. That by no means means that you lost the debate or are going to. She kept trying to list them and he kept interrupting her so she couldn't say them. Yeah. Yep. That is facts. All right, here we go. If you guys haven't watched her What Happened Off Camera video too, oh man, it was so good. It was so good. Oh, she has a best moments from the Great Debate clip. Let's do that. That's raw. He did start saying, I don't know if he started off saying, of course I know them. I think, yeah, he did. You're right. I think he did, which is fucking insane. You know what? This is another point that so many people have pointed out, is that he said that there is what do you say? Unwavering evidence, or what did he say? What were the words that he said? Overwhelming evidence that Tyler Robinson acted alone. And then in the beginning of the debate, I remember like hearing this and being like, it's over. Like, you lost. And nobody was talking about it. And finally people are talking about it. He said there's overwhelming evidence. He redefined what overwhelming means, number one. And then number two, he said he's 75% sure that Tyler Robinson acted alone. I was like, the evidence must not be that overwhelming then, because overwhelming to me would mean that I'm fully bought in and convinced that this narrative that I am saying is true is true. So funny, dude. Fucking idiots.
Well, do you know any of the charges that he's up for right
Look at that. We're right on to that. Wow.
now?
Yeah, of course. But
Can
I
you-
want to
can you
make sure
name
that we
one?
have the
Dude.
Can you
all
name-
set.
He was right. A-Rock was right. He did start off. Went from 1,000,000% to 75%, right? No shit. Oh, 100,000.
Evan, since
you-
you've been following the case.
Okay, sure.
Go ahead.
You name one.
Yeah, you named all 7.
I'm happy to do that, but can you name one?
I think he's been charged with murder.
This is the thing that he's a master at, right? He's a master at flipping the onus on you. Being like, yeah, sure, but you do it. You do it. Because that takes the responsibility off of him, right? I don't need to do this because you should do it. You're challenging me, but I don't even think that you know because you're challenging me. I don't think that you know. Maybe you should do it instead of me. And then she goes on to educate him.
That's actually incorrect.
Okay, great.
Totally BSing right now. I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you, so I'm going to move on from that. Would you like to
That line will live rent-free in his head forever. Forever.
explain how you developed your evidence, your positive evidence for the fact that Erica was...
I just think all women are.
Oh, so you're allowed to just say it shouldn't be you in that chair. It should be the person that took Charlie's place, maybe Erica.
I don't think that a lot of people caught that either, right? Like, I don't think that they caught the actual weight of that, of what just happened, that exchange. Do you have any positive evidence for Erica being retarded? And he goes, I just think that all women are retarded. Ha ha ha. And then she's like, oh, so you're just allowed to say things, right? You're just allowed to say things, but other people aren't. So you can make a claim that somebody is retarded and you don't have to back it up. But if I were to say somebody is retarded, I have to back it up. That was the whole point there. I haven't heard that talked about or discussed much. Maybe it's not that important, but it's the whole, I won't say anything because I don't want to be wrong. Exactly. That's right. Me either.
Kirk, maybe Andrew Colbert, he's a spokesperson. And rather than doing that, they send us another influencer. So let's see how it goes. Well, I'm not going to waste time with the...
Yeah. The fact that she called him an influencer so many times in this debate is so funny. Not even that it's like an insult anymore, really. But I mean, in that circle, it probably is an insult. It's pretty funny. At least to me.
The preamble, because I think I just want to get to the substance of the debate, and we'll just speak to the audience. I've obviously had an audience since we've been covering this case. People know that there was a personal friendship between me and Charlie, and diminishing the pursuit of something that makes sense regarding what happened on September 10th. By throwing it to, this is just people who are conspiracy theorists. These are people who are just trying to generate clicks. I don't think that people should be satisfied by that. I want people to remember that it's important to think. We've been lied to by the government a great many times over, just the last couple of years, if you just think of the things that we've learned about our government. And I do want to say this. What's been the most disturbing element, I think, for everyone is that not only does the narrative not make any sense, which I'm going to demonstrate, I don't need to waste time with the preamble going through the points or trying to insult you or pretending that I've been running a podcast saying it's just dreams and vibes like I'm Miss Cleo. And that's the reason why it's taking so many influencers. It looks like $1 billion industry of influencers to dispute everything Candace says. Is not because I'm on my platform saying I had a dream last night. I don't think I think that diminishes you.
Interlocutor boy is fucking funny, dude. Like listening... If you guys haven't seen that clip, he was on TPUSA on the Charlie Kirk show, I think, with whatever the fuck that guy's name is. And he kept saying, not only did I think that she was stupid, but she's not a very good interlocutor. What?
As an argument. Obviously, we have presented a lot of evidence. You just presented a text message and said, this is evidence. Well, that's how this entire thing began. You're talking about how Israel got into the conversation. It was because immediately after Charlie died, one of the first things we saw was this push to make us all think and remember how much he loved Israel. It's because the prime minister of Israel, who's fighting like a 27-front war, felt that he needed to come do a little mini tour and to be, strangely, to state that I did not kill Charlie Kirk when nobody was having that thought that I can remember. Nobody was going, I wonder if Bibi Netanyahu killed Charlie Kirk.
That was the most insane thing ever. And I'm not even going to hold you guys on that with what I think about that. Like, I think that is fucking insane. And that people can actually look at that. Like truly, a normal person who's not trying to prove a point. If you're not trying to prove that that guy did it or this guy did it, but it's just so weird, right? Like, I have kids, okay? And there's this thing that they do sometimes where they'll tell you they did something by telling you that they didn't do something. Right? And I am not saying that they did it, but I am saying that it just looks fucking weird. To be honest with you, I don't think that they did do it. I don't think that they did. But it's just a weird thing. Right? It's a weird thing. Like, I don't know. If you have kids, you would know what I'm talking about. They tell you that they do something without telling you that they do something.
And then we had a round of influencers who lied and said Charlie was not changing on Israel, that he wasn't having any disagreements regarding that topic, that the day he died, he just loved Israel so much. And I demonstrated via a text message, which you just mentioned, and you're now contextualizing and pretending it was just about Tucker Carlson, which is not true. It was a part of a broader shift that Charlie was having over the last, I would say, actually on your show, it began since October 7th, which is when I began asking myself more questions about Israel as well. And so, yeah, when all of these things happen in the immediate aftermath, and then I drop a text message after everyone is denying that, Tucker Carlson then comes out and confirms the conversations that he had with Charlie. Megyn Kelly then comes out and confirms the
I'll be honest.
private conversations that she.
I'll be honest with you guys. I think like if that is the question at hand, right? Like, I just think asking if it's them or not is the wrong question. You know, I think that actually the whole JQ thing in general is the wrong question. Okay. Cause you know, it's weird. It is really weird. The cultural shift that has happened where like a certain group of people tend to do certain things, or like this, and this is true across the board for different races and different, you know, different types of people. But I think it's actually the wrong question and the wrong thing to be like, the Jews do everything, right? No, there's a certain hierarchy of like people, right, at the top that may or may not be of that, you know. But I also do think that that's kind of low IQ too, or low IQ too, to just say these are the people that do everything. You probably don't know what religion or what they think spiritually or any of that stuff, or what race or ethnicity they are, right? It's probably not something that you would ever know. And if you think that you know by saying stuff like that, it's just weird. Now, government wise, you know, and stuff, we could like go even deeper, but I think that's a wrong question to be asking personally.
Had with Charlie, people then begin to ask a reasonable question, which is, why are we lying about this? If they were forthcoming with that and they had said, hey, yeah, Charlie was starting to ask questions. I think after October 7th, it's reasonable that people are starting to re-examine our relationship with Israel. We wouldn't be here today. But it has been lie after lie.
Factions within factions. Yep.
After lie, debunk after debunk after debunk. Yes, I did share that I had a dream that Charlie was betrayed. It's not a dream anymore. It's a reality. I look at what the organization has become, the people that they are partnering with, the lies that they are telling, the extraordinary people that they're sending out to say that I hadn't speak to Charlie since 2018.
Now, I could actually come up with a couple of different reasons that that I could actually justify TPUSA lying about this stuff. And I feel like this is something that not a lot of people have really been exploring. There's one guy who has, and who's come out and just said that he thinks that Charlie Kirk is alive. And so I'm not actually going to like speculate on that. Cause my opinion on a lot of this stuff is that it's like a bunch of distractions, right? So like, it's horrific that this happened to Charlie Kirk, but in the grand scheme of things, in terms of geopolitically or culture-wise, it's not really like a huge shifter, right? Like it doesn't like do much to know whether or not, you know, or whether or not that happened or whatever it is. But there are two things, and I think that people like my biggest thing with the whole Charlie Kirk thing, one of my biggest things is that I don't even think that 90% of people who now know about him or know about what he was or who he was even knew about Charlie Kirk when that happened. I think what happened was that the incident happened. I think a lot of people knew who he was, but nowhere near the amount of people who know now. And my opinion is that a lot of people like held on to it because it was another type of groupthink thing that they could become a part of. It was another thing that a bunch of people could try to relate to each other with. And because look, I have been deep in internet culture for a long time. You know, I watched Charlie Kirk quite a bit, actually. I watched Steven Crowder for years. and Charlie Kirk kind of got his thing from Steven. I was going to say shtick from Steven Crowder. If you want my true opinion on that, I think that a lot of people kind of bit Steven Crowder's bit, his whole shtick, and that's where that kind of thing came from. Those shows came from, and so I was on to Charlie Kirk for a long time, super early, but I pay attention to the internet, and I had never ever in my life heard anybody, except for maybe 2 people, talk to me about Charlie Kirk. Never. I mean, even at his biggest, I'd heard maybe 2 people talk about him. And so, yeah, I think that it's kind of all just a distraction, right? It's kind of all just a distraction, in my opinion.
And it begins to look like a conspiracy. And the lies that they are telling, the extraordinary.
So that's where I was going, is the things that actually could make sense. Maybe he is alive, maybe. Because why would they pave? Like a pavement emergency, right? Maybe. And then the second would be that if it was like a witness protection type of thing, like if he was truly worried, like really worried, like a witness protection type of deal, right? Where he like they need to protect him, they need to get him away. Like, and so they might be lying because of those 2 reasons, to like genuinely protect him. So I'm not team TPUSA is good, team TPUSA is bad. It's just weird. It's all weird.
People that they're sending out to say that I hadn't speak to Charlie since 2018, and it begins to look like a conspiracy. And just as a historical fact, that entire term was created by the CIA to gaslight people after the assassination of JFK. So it's not exactly one that makes me nervous. Like calling somebody a conspiracy theorist is essentially saying that they demand further answers and they're not accepting the Fed slop. So
yeah, that's the craziest thing, is that now like calling somebody a conspiracy theorist is almost like a term of endearment. It's like a good thing. It's like, oh, do you think that hurts my feelings that you call me a conspiracy theorist? Because conspiracy theorists have been proven right time and time again. I could name so many things that conspiracy theorists have been proven right, and maybe not positive evidence or verified studies or anything like that. But the very beginning of COVID, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I was scared. I'm going to tell you guys a story. Okay. He was facing charges, wasn't he? He was so relieved when Trump got in. Who was facing charges? Charlie? I don't know. Can you elaborate? The beginning of COVID. All right, check this guys out. Check this out, guys. This is actually kind of a crazy story, if I do say so myself. I want to try to get the timeline right, but I may not. The very beginning of this happening, I think it was probably like fall, okay? Early on, like September, maybe August. I remember, I have no idea what that means, dude. I have no idea what that means. Oh, he said, yeah. What the fuck? It showed up different here. I don't know. I never heard anything about Charlie Kirk facing any charges. August or September, I remember seeing a video of some guy passing out at a train station in China, circulating. I later went to go Google it, and I couldn't find it. And it was like a News Weekly type of thing, like a tabloid. And this is at the time, if you're watching, that there was still tabloids, 2019. Okay, there was still like, it was just different. Okay, and they were talking about some virus, and I literally was thinking to myself, "This is it. This is how they're going to depopulate the earth. The Georgia Guidestones are real. Everything is fucked." Okay, and no, I'm not telling you guys about a conspiracy theory that's been proven true, but okay. And then I went and stocked up. I'm kind of a prepper. Stocked up. It's always good to have have stuff, whether there's a tornado, a natural disaster, whatever. Okay. And so I went and stocked some stuff up. And I told a bunch of people this. Well, actually, I am kind of getting vindicated here. So maybe it is kind of that. I told a bunch of people about this, and they all thought I was fucking crazy. And then comes March. I think it was March, right? And they announced this thing called COVID. And I was like, this is exactly what I was telling you guys about. This is exactly the thing. This is the video that I saw, the subway. The guy fell over dead in the subway, I think. This is the thing. It's coming from China. That was in China. And then they said that it was super deadly. You guys remember that? They said that it was going to kill a bunch of people, which, by the way, I cannot believe that people just like let this go. I can't believe that people let it go. Right? It's crazy. Shout out Travis, vindicate. Facts. And lo and behold, we were told to shelter in place, basically, right? Stop the spread. 2 weeks to stop the spread. And so the conspiracy theorist was right. Got vindicated. And then they were saying how deadly it was and blah, 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 blah. So in the beginning, I was actually pretty scared the first 2 weeks because, again, I've been following conspiracy-minded stuff for a very long time. And I was like, this is it. This is how they're going to depopulate. Georgia Guidestones are right. They said it was going to be some sort of bacteria or virus. That's it. Georgia Guidestones didn't say that, but people were saying that. And, yeah. So I thought, damn, this is it. And then I got pissed off about 2 weeks in. I started drinking and going out to the bars and partying again. If you guys haven't taken time to see the Georgia Guidestones, or if you haven't looked into those at all or haven't heard of them, super worth your time. If you're a base level conspiracy theorist, like fancy yourself just getting into it, don't really know much, you're not very educated on the topic, Georgia Guidestones is the place to start. Well, there's a couple places, but that's one of them. And a lot of this stuff will make sense to you. A lot of stuff that people talk about will make sense to you. Whoa, what's happening? I'm on the wrong... Hello? What's going on there? Why is it not showing? Hold on, guys. We've seen Into the Void. I think I've shown you guys Into the Void like 1,000 times. Where? Uh-oh. Boom. It's frozen. It's frozen. You just saw the back end. That's right. That's right. What the flip is happening, bruh? Why is it going there, though? I don't understand what's happening. Mom. Mom, help. Huh. I don't know what's going on there, guys. That's concerning. Should we X out? No, let's see. Boom. No. It's frozen on there. What the fuck? Let me see. See if we can fix this quick. Somebody born after 2005, come help this man. Facts. Help me out. Can you guys still hear me though? Well, looks like that's over with. Huh. Yeah, we need a young gun to come and be the producer here. That's for sure. Because that shouldn't be happening. I'll tell you that much. Audio is good. I don't mind showing you guys that back end because there's not a lot to see. At least not right now. You know? You guys can see the... It's not a big deal to me. But I do want to know why it's not working. Wow. Did you guys see that? No. Huh. Interesting. Skin looks great, by the way. Thanks, man. That's GHKCU. Just kidding. I don't take any peptides right now. I don't take any peptides just in case we need to compete in something. You know what I'm saying? Wow. Well, that's a bummer. I wonder what that whole thing was about. That sucks. We're going to keep it going, though, because fuck it. Let's see. I think I can fix this quick. Here we go. All right, boom. I think I got this. You guys, I think I got it. You guys, I think I got it. Boom. Oh. Don't ever tell me millennials aren't the superior fucking generation, dude. Figured that out in 3 seconds.
Should be the person that took Charlie's place.
We're
Maybe
back.
Erica Kirk, maybe Andrew Colbat. He's a spokesperson. And rather than doing that, they send us another influencer. So let's see how it goes. I want to address what you think is evidence so we can keep this on par with what your claim is. Since
Well, I think that that's a piece of evidence that's in dispute. And that's why I'm...
yeah, but
because if
we're
not
trying to get
establishing
to
the
whether there's
timeline-
overwhelming evidence that Tyler Robinson did this.
Yeah,
So
if you
whether
want to
then
use
starting
the first,
with
if you want to use the first part of that for the internal critique,
yeah,
for
like
you,
we should
that's
go
fine.
over the actual
Okay,
evidence that
so
we feel.
The first reason that I think, and I think it's compelling evidence, is that Tyler Robinson's rifle was found.
The hiccup made other people leave, come back. Who? Yeah. Fucking dipshits, dude. Leaving over a technicality.
Near the crime scene. So I would consider that to be very good evidence. And also the fact of the matter is that I dispute this claim that a 30-06 could not have made this wound. I think that that's absurd. 150 grain Remington core lock absolutely could shatter when it hits the neck of any human being. When you say that there's some steel neck and it's a smaller caliber, you have to make a counter explanation. Why wouldn't a smaller caliber also go through bone?
It could. I didn't say it can't.
Right, exactly.
See, here's the funny thing about that is like I have no fucking clue anything that he just said. I have zero fucking clue. None. And I'm going to make a point with this. I don't have a fucking clue if that's true. What the fuck? Oh, never mind. Okay. I don't have a fucking clue if that's true. But I don't think that he does either. Does anybody else agree with me? I don't think that he fucking knows either, dude. And there's been hella people that have completely debunked this. And what's interesting is he's so demanding towards everyone else to clarify their mistakes and to come out and just admit it. Why doesn't he do the same?
So if that's the case, then ammunition is going to be the critical key here. And if we have frangible ammunition, which we do in this case, a flex tip round, well, I'm sorry, not a flex tip, a soft point round from a 150 grain Remington core lock, that's just a small jacket that goes around the actual lead piece. This thing could have split apart in air for all we know, but definitely upon impact. And we have the medical examiner who confirms this in a summary. And my team can bring that up, the summarization, which means he would have to be a part of some kind of conspiracy as well.
Okay, so just to start with your point about saying that the gun was found near him, near Losey Center, or I guess off in the woods. That gun, did you watch the testimony? Did you watch the preliminary hearing?
Yeah, we covered it live. Yeah.
Okay, so forgetting what the summary of the medical report was, did you watch the testimony that was given by the Caitlin Oliver, the ATF woman, Samantha Carner, any of those people who went into the science of...
Yes, I recall. You're talking about...
The bullet analysis.
Yeah, when they went into the DNA.
Okay, so that's kind of the most relevant part.
Okay.
I'm not denying, I've never denied on my platform or any...
And right here is where she puts him through a masterclass of logic. Mr. Logical gets a masterclass for logic.
So you, I think, have said on a platform that you were gunned out. Robinson was found near the crime scene, right? That doesn't remove if you think somebody set up as a patsy. You could take a gun out of this room right now and you could walk out and plant it in the woods near a crime scene.
I agree.
That's not convincing evidence to me.
I concur with the fact that that's a possibility.
So I think
they were in Candace Owens' basement. Which makes it even more insane, dude. That he's like, yeah, it's just funny. There, is that better, guys? I didn't realize that was so off the whole time. My apologies.
That on a platform that you were a gunsmith?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and for how many years?
Many, many years.
For many years. Mm-hmm. You also said that you were an Army sniper?
I wasn't a sniper in the Army.
Okay.
And I never said that.
Sorry, your wife tweeted that you were an Army sniper.
Yeah, I don't know. Like 15 years ago, she said something.
Does it change 15 years later?
She said that it was colloquial. So
Army sniper is a colloquial term?
Yeah, I was never an Army sniper.
Okay.
Does it change later? It's crazy.
What did you do in the Army? Did you teach this? She then I corrected it and said you taught rifles in the Army?
No, I didn't teach rifle. No, I taught rifles as a private citizen.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I was an NRA instructor for many, many, many years alongside my gun shop.
As with your expertise, when she...
That's actually a good point. You wouldn't let him know where you live. And it's funny that you bring that up, because in Candace Owens... in her video of like what happened the 24 hours leading into this, she talks about that and how sketchy they were acting. And Andrew Wilson said something that makes me just really believe that he's a bad actor, that he's not really a good dude, right? He said, so she was communicating, her team was communicating with somebody that was, emailing back and forth. Somebody that was handling like the plans for Andrew. And she took real issue with the fact that that person would not identify themselves and let her know who they were that she was emailing with. And Andrew just kind of brushed it off and said, who the fuck cares? Who cares? Why do you need... It's like, dude, she's about to email you where to go, her address. She's telling you where she fucking lives with her children. Are you retarded? Like, I would never in a million years, the world that we live in, just give some stranger my fucking address, dude. No way. And to act like that's not a big deal is wild.
Gave testimony on the stand, Samantha Carner, that there was dust
Paulina, thank you.
and there was debris that was found in the gun barrel.
Yep.
Did you inspect the interior of this barrel?
I did, yes.
And did you notice whether it had any debris or dust in it?
I believe my notes state that debris and dust was observed in the inside of the barrel, yes.
And then when we had the person who, and this was, I believe, Caitlin Oliver, who explained painfully about the DNA, the prints.
Well, let's start with a point at a time.
I'm not done. You said something, so I'm going to finish my thought, right?
You don't want to do a point at a time?
No, well, sure. If you want to respond to,
Well,
but I want you to respond to 2 points.
debris.
I want you to start with 2 points.
Okay.
Dust and debris in the gun barrel.
Yeah.
Secondly, the fact that there were 5 sets of prints, 5+ actually by the end of the testimony, 5 sets of prints for which we already had the woman who worked for the FBI forensics testify that above 2 prints, if you're taking a sample, it's no longer a science, right? She testified that when they took the sample of what was on the trigger, they saw 5+ prints, and among those 5+ prints, Tyler Robinson's was the most degraded.
From a scientific standpoint, you couldn't read the paragraph that sets out the likelihood.
And this is exactly where Andrew Wilson starts to pretend that he is a retard.
Ratio in your report, whatever the number, and then blast a headline in the media, Mr. Robinson's DNA is found on this item. That's a source attribution, is it not?
Correct, yes.
And that would not be scientifically defensible, would it?
Correct.
And you can't tell us anything about when the DNA was deposited on the trigger guard or the trigger, correct?
Correct.
You can't tell us anything about whether, when you say it's at least 4, it could be 5, 6, or 7 people with DNA on that trigger or trigger guard, correct?
Correct, which is why we have the major contributor that is suitable for comparison, and the minor contributor is not suitable for comparison due to that complexity.
The 1.3 sample is described as swabs of trigger and trigger guard, right?
Correct.
You didn't do the swabs, but am I correct that you have no way of knowing which part was from the trigger and which part was from the trigger guard?
Correct, so they were swabbed together, so I wouldn't be able to say where the DNA came from.
And that's one of the samples that was degraded, correct?
There were signs of degradation present in that sample, yes.
And you said with regard to that sample, that that was a sample consistent with at least 4 contributors, right?
Correct.
And did what you term the major profile have the largest amount of degradation in that sample?
There was, yes.
So I would like you to explain how Tyler Robinson's prints could be the most degraded when she said actually.
Pretty crazy. I never heard that. Like, I didn't watch the actual hearing. That's pretty wild.
You could have DNA on something that you've touched. You could have DNA on something that you've never touched. And to get DNA degradation, they've looked at pieces, items 20, 40 years on that don't have degradation. Yet Tyler Robinson's prints, amongst 5+ other prints, were the most degraded on that weapon.
Yeah. So let's get into all 3 of the claims. First, with debris. When it comes to debris, firing rifle doesn't always blow the debris out of the barrel.
Okay, you think there could be debris and dust.
Yeah.
He just fired the weapon.
Sure.
Okay.
Not only that, he left it in a forest. Now, I don't know if you agree with me, but if you leave a rifle in a wooded area, it's also possible that debris could get in that way. But
These are just like things that like the right person listening would just debunk. Right. And so I don't know anything about that, but the right person, right. And this is like what's so cringe is like people like this that act like they just know everything. They know, they have an explanation for and just know everything because somehow they've just been so educated on everything that ever existed. But the right person listening to this, and this is why I'm so mind blown, the fact that he did this as like somebody who was supposedly an intellectual, like the person who knows would just debunk this, and you look like a fucking stupid idiot. You look like a stupid idiot. He talks to her like he's stupid, like she's stupid. He does. Multiple fingerprints should mean multiple suspects, but no, I agree, dude. Like, again, another thing, like I have, known people that get their DNA ran, right? And when there's multiple fingerprints, like, it's not a good thing, dog. Like, what the fuck are we talking about?
I'm not even sure that that's what the case is. I think it's far more likely that you fired the shot, it just didn't blow all the debris out, and it often doesn't. You'll find this if you take Grandpappy's, dirty rifle and it's all dusty inside the bore and you go fire it, you'll often look down the bore and there's still dust.
Okay.
Happens all the time.
Okay. And the prints?
Yeah, so the prints, we don't know all of the details on just yet.
We do. It was excruciatingly long testimony on the prints.
We don't because they haven't gone to trial, so we don't know.
What a weasel. What a way to weasel out of that argument, huh? We don't know yet, so I'm not going to engage here, but you need to engage with everything that I am saying that I request of you because we don't know because they haven't taken it to trial yet, even though that woman literally who does the thing just testified, gave her information, but we don't know everything. So like, I'm not going to engage because I don't want to be proved wrong right now, proven wrong. Wow, that's crazy.
On the print front, but Tyler Robinson's DNA was on there. You made the claim that Lance Twiggs' DNA was on there, and it was not.
Well, when she gave the testimony, no, hold on. First, let's go to your first point because that's wrong. We can get a fact check on that. What do you mean we don't know until it goes to trial about the degraded prints? She testified, and this is the person who took the prints.
Yes, but the problem is that inside of this particular testimony, you agree with me that there's going to be much more of the DNA analysis during the trial, right?
Yeah, but the base level stuff's just not going to change. It just won't change. Yeah, there will be more, but that stuff that was just talked about, not going to change.
Also would agree that her fact is not going to change, that among the prints, his was the most degraded. So I'm asking you to address that. How could that be possible?
Let's give it, let's just grant this for a second as a possibility that his fingerprints were degraded.
It's not a possibility. It's a fact. The person who took...
See the magic trick there? That's a magic trick. He's trying to make you believe he has the upper hand. That's a magic trick.
I'm just granting it for the sake of argument.
You should grant it because it's a fact that she presented.
So now it's granted. So what?
What do you mean, so what?
Yeah, so what?
That is the craziest part in the entire debate. And I think that's where I'm going to end watching this video. That's the craziest part. So his fingerprints were degraded. So what? So other people's fingerprints were more prominent on it. So what? You don't have to be a super smart person to figure out why that's fucking retarded, right? You don't, and this is the problem that a lot of these people have, these pseudo-intellectuals. They just think they're too smart for their own good. So what? Because what that does, reframing is a great way to put it. It will reframe how the conversation is going to go. He's buying time. He has the ability to come up with more excuses or more explanation or somehow shift the conversation so that he doesn't actually have to be held liable or accountable for that specific topic or conversation. He can move on because so what? So crazy. Absolutely crazy. We live in crazy times. We live in crazy times when the right is actually the left and the left is still the left. Man. Subscribe if you guys are new. Subscribe if you're new. if you've been here, we've done an hour and a half so far. Actually, a little over an hour and a half, which is freaking wild. This is what we're going to be doing every day soon. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I had to get up the courage to come down here today and do this. I set up my podcast studio. I set up this studio, this area. You know, like now that I'm like really taking a look at this, like I really fuck with that. I like the the paneling, the acoustic paneling with the fucking brick, right? Like, doesn't that look pretty cool? I'm proud of that. It's pretty cool. Like, I think it's pretty fucking cool. So anyway, we're going to try for it every day, but we're not going to do this type of stuff every single day. I had to gain the courage to come down here and actually talk on camera again. It's something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, is this type of show, this type of podcast, a live stream where I'm like reviewing other videos and reacting and things of that nature. Something that I've really wanted to do. It's endless content. I'm gonna give you guys the truth here, okay? I have finally given myself permission to really try and to really go all in and do this. You know, professionally, things are good in terms of business and things like that, which means that I don't feel the need to just completely hustle all the time and just grind my face off. Now I feel that I can give focus to the things that I truly want to do. This is what I truly want to do. I want to podcast. I want to do YouTube. I want to live stream. It's always been the goal. It's always been the thing that I've wanted to do. I had to step away for a little bit because I had to handle business, take care of business. And now we're going all in. We're going fucking full throttle. But you know what is pissing me off? Sorry, ADD. You see my hand right here? Yeah, I got to reframe it. Nah, fuck it. We'll just leave it. So full permission, right, to do what we got to do. And we're going to go hard. And so right now, we are not going to go every day quite yet because this weekend is my wedding. My fiance's wedding. So we're getting married. So I'm not going to commit to doing it this week. I might do every day this week, but definitely not Saturday. And then we're going to do a challenge of 30 days of uploads or live stream. So each day counts so long as I did one of those, an upload or a live stream. And the show is not always going to be like, government conspiracy type stuff. We're also going to, just everything counterculture, right? Like I want to do some reactions and get more involved in action sports. So some reactions to action sports stuff. Like, dude, I watched this video last night before bed that got me so fucking stoked on mountain biking. And that's like I'm like, dude, people, this is my true opinion. Running became super popular and it's pretty gay. Biking is going to be the next thing. Mark my words. Biking is the next thing. Mountain biking might not be it, but biking is going to be it. And it's hard to say that because I know the barrier to entry for biking is so high, right? Like the bikes are so fucking expensive, dude. Like so expensive. Mine was like $2,000 and it was just a hardtail cross country bike, a Trek Pro Caliber. The bike that I want is like $5,000 and I'm going to gift it to myself next year, like summertime. But I think biking already is. It is teetering. Biking like is getting there. I mean, to the point where like what I mean is that it's going to become like what running is now. I see it happening. Like I foresee it coming. And I grew up on bikes, right? Grew up on skateboards, bikes, aggressive inline. I think that bikes is next. Bikes are next. Hopefully mountain biking because it's fucking rad. But anyway, I watched this video that got me so stoked that I just want to like promote it more because I mountain bike often, right? I have a race in like less than a month and I just want people to fall in love with it. So I want to watch action sports clips on here and do reactions to that. I want to upload like prepping for races if I can. You know, those videos take a long fucking time to film and edit and stuff. And I do have to do like actual work stuff still. But I'll try my best to do that, even if it's not super cinematic. And then I just want to do some cinematic stuff. Like, I don't know, man. Like everything is going. Everything is fucking ripping. You know, skateboarding, snowboarding, mountain biking, conspiracies, fucking podcasts. Paulina, yes, we're going to do a podcast when you come for sure. We can do it live, whatever you want to do both. And then recorded podcasts too. I'm going to try to do it all. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how it goes. But for sure, 30 days of uploads, live stream, or just straight up YouTube video, vlog, whatever it is. So that's what I'm aiming for. That's what I'm shooting for. That's it, guys. It is 6:30. I got to go set my sauna, turn it on, and hit a contrast session because I've been doing that before bed, and I feel fucking awesome every day. It's probably why I'm so awesome. Just kidding. No, I'm not. Yeah, I am. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Talk to y'all in the next one. Peace out. Goodbye.